Thomas Albert Byrd, December the 16th, 1899.
You might see 3 centuries.
I wish he could. That's what I told him. It'd be unique if he could do it.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I'm wearing out too much." I said, "Well, Dad, you got to give it a try. That would truly be unique."
Where were you born at?
Right the next door here. Right here in Charleston.
Charleston, Missouri. He's lived within 50 feet of where he was born all his 97 years.
What is your very first memory as a child?
Oh.
Oops.
First memory as a child, we used to play back there in the yard. I remember when I was a little older, we used to haul straw from wheat fields and put on the roads.
But that was to keep the dust down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the summertime?
Yeah.
And who were your parents?
Daddy, who were your parents?
Huh?
Who were your parents?
James L. and Lucy Hunter Byrd.
What did your father do for a living?
He was in the lumber business here.
Okay.
And farming, Daddy.
And what was his name?
Huh?
What was your dad's full name?
James Lanier Byrd.
And what about your mother? What was her name?
Lucy Hunter. Lucy Nancy Hunter. She was born over near Sykeston.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school here to the, let's see,
To the 8th grade?
I went here, I went up to Western Military Academy in 1915, and graduated there in June 1918.
And where was that at?
Alton, Illinois.
So what sort of things did you learn there?
Huh? What's the what?
What were the courses like, Daddy? I mean, it was a high school, right?
High school courses.
Was there lots of military training at this high school?
Oh, well, we did march a lot and train, yeah.
Okay. And you had uniforms?
That's his graduating picture
Oh,
from
yeah.
Alton.
Looks a lot like West Point uniforms. We'll take a picture.
There were 65 in my graduating class at Western.
This is Dad right there.
Oh, yeah. Did most of the graduates wind up in World War I?
Did what?
Did most of the graduates end up in World War I?
Well, that was during World War I.
Well, I know, but I mean, most of them were too young to get called up by the time
Yeah.
it ended. So y'all just got on the edge of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We graduated in June 1918 from Western and went right from there to Fort Sheridan, Illinois, which is north of Chicago. And we trained there. There were several hundred others there from different schools. And they joined the RO in September. We joined the ROTC, Reserve Officers Training Corps.
So they were training you to be an officer in Fort Sheridan?
Well, I mean, while you were at Fort Sheridan, you weren't being trained as an officer. You were when you were sent to Columbia. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were being trained. There were several hundred there at Fort Sheridan.
I know, but you were that was just drill and stuff like that. You didn't start your officer training till you got to Columbia, did you?
Well, we did all kinds of military training.
At Fort Sheridan,
Yeah.
right? But your schooling and officer training wasn't until you got to Columbia.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct?
There were several, when we got to Columbia, there were several that, out of the bunch that went on to the Army. But the rest of us all belonged to the ROTC.
Okay. Just wanted to get that straight. Well, what was your daily routine up at Fort Sheridan? Can you remember what basically you did on a daily basis?
Close order drilling, and some practice out along the lake.
What, shooting,
Yeah.
marksmanship?
Yeah.
But I mean, they had a regular firing range where y'all would go out and shoot?
No, we didn't do any shooting up there
you
much.
didn't? So it's mainly just close order drill.
Close order drill mainly.
Now, when you were at Fort Sheridan, were you considered to be in the Army, or were you in college? What was your status at that time?
Did you hear him? He wants to know what was your status at Fort Sheridan, Daddy? Were you considered part of the Army then, or how did the government classify you all? If you weren't in the ROTC till you got to Columbia, what were you considered up at Fort Sheridan?
Just one of the regulars.
Just regular Army, right? Just like I wasn't in the Army, but like Airman First Class, you just were your basic recruitee, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So at the end of your high school training, were you automatically in the Army, or did you have to enlist, or did they draft you because of that experience?
When you graduated from Western, did you have to enlist in the Army, or did they take you straight from military school and put you in?
We went from the military school to Fort Sheridan
Straight out.
after we left Western.
But I mean, did you sign up as in the Army, or did the government come down and sign the class up as a whole, or I mean, how did that?
No, it was, we were just all recognized as a member of the ROTC.
Right straight from school.
No, from Fort Sheridan.
Yeah, well, we established that point. What he's trying to find out is, once you graduated from Western, what did the government classify you all as when they sent you up to Fort Sheridan? I mean, they couldn't just take a class of military students that graduated from a high school and not say, well, you're either inducted into the Army or something. I mean, how did they classify you when you transferred from being a school person to going into the military?
I don't know, but when I quit the Army, we resigned from the Army.
You did?
Yeah, in November when we quit, we were resigned from the Army.
And did you get an honorable discharge?
Yeah, I've got it someplace from the Army.
Okay, so somewhere along the way there, I don't know.
I've got the discharge papers.
So I guess he was classified in the Army after they got out of Western military. I don't know.
When you were in the ROTC, what rank did they give you in the Army?
I didn't have any.
Were you just a private?
Huh? Yeah.
You're just a private in the Army.
Yeah.
But what we're getting at, if you were taken to Fort Sheridan just as a private, when they got you to Columbia in September and started you in officer training, what did they classify you as then?
We still belong to the ROTC, so I
Yeah,
don't.
but I mean, did they give you any rank that you remember of at Columbia?
No. Well, we had when we had some of the soldiers, I was classified along with some of the fellows that were in Western with me.
Yeah, but as what? What did they classify you as?
Just as just regular Army.
Yeah, Dave, but what we're getting at, you had to have, if you were going to start in officer training, you had to have more than a rank of a private. You don't recall what they truly classified you as?
Well, I was classified just as a officer in a company where you rank.
Well, yeah, but that still doesn't quite answer what we're after. I mean, if you were going to be an officer in a company, you had to be, you know, a lieutenant, or you had to have, I guess you had to have some rank. I don't know, maybe in the First
They
World
didn't
War.
have any.
They didn't designate that?
Didn't have any specified specification as to what you were.
Until you would have
I know.
graduated from that.
I know
guess.
while I was in there, I had a chance to join the Marine Corps, and I didn't want to go to it.
What, is this while you were in Columbia or up at Fort Sheridan?
In Columbia.
So they did ask what you wanted to go into up there.
Why did you turn down the Balloon Corps?
I didn't want to go.
I don't think that was a wise decision, Daddy. Those guys didn't last very long. Well, I never knew that, Dad, that they wanted to put a Byrd in the Balloon Corps. Think you made a good decision. Keep your feet on the ground.
What kind of uniforms were you wearing at this time?
Well, now he does have a picture of that over here. Oh,
Just turn it.
I'll keep my finger there, Pa, but he really wants to just see what kind of uniform you were wearing up at Fort Sheridan. And this is what they looked like. It was just your basic. Basically,
Oh,
these
okay.
are the only true pictures from Fort Sheridan he has.
Those are all him?
Yeah, and what
Okay.
I guess. Are these the barracks that you lived in behind you? Here, this wood building's the barracks behind you, right?
Where?
Right here, this wood building where the barracks of Fort Sheridan.
I've forgotten what we stayed in. I think.
Well, there was some behind there that looked very similar.
Yeah,
Weren't those the barracks?
I guess so.
Did you have bunk beds or
I've
what?
forgotten bunk beds. I think.
You
Yeah,
had bunk beds.
bunk beds.
And this was what, this pack on your back, was that your standard military pack? What was that, was that a bed roll that you had on this pack back here?
I guess so.
And what, well, you had a canteen there. What, do you remember what this was up on the top of that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
How was the food up there?
Is that what this was? This little pack was your food right here? Or was this the bedroll and
It was probably
I remember they had one day at mess. They had a bunch of Texas fellows, and they put some niggers in the mess table with them, and then after that there wasn't any more. They got rid of them after that one meal.
Well, hey, remember she's in this room. Okay.
Yeah, that's his shovel on the back of this pack.
Well, let's see. Major Edward Camp Commander, RTC, and that's, well, let me read this thing. Maybe this will tell us something we want to know. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting. This Major Edward McCaskey, I guess it is, camp commander of the ROTC, announces a second complete regiment review for Saturday morning on a large parade ground. The formation will be close in mass, half column front. This close formation will have 8 columns in line and will be half company depth. This formation is modeled after the French method of parade. That's interesting.
Do you remember that parade he's reading about there?
Remember what?
Do you remember this parade, Daddy? The regimental review on Saturday morning, this write-up you have in here?
Yeah, we had a lot of reviews up there at Sheridan.
Is that about all you did, basically?
Yeah, well, they had some training out on the range.
Well, it sounds to me, though, like, Daddy, that a large part of the time was wasted.
Yeah.
Doing nothing but running around in the close formations. This cartoon.
They had several hundred up there.
Well, they must have had.
I remember.
It just says on this cartoon here, see? It just says Camp Commander, Fort Sheridan's ROTC. So I guess basically the whole outfit
Yeah.
was in the ROTC, but I mean, I don't know. I wish.
I'll check his record at the Secretary of State.
See, it says, following the formation of the regimental review, a sharp practice march has been ordered with packs. Okay, so this is his pack that he's wearing, huh?
How much did all your equipment weigh when you had to march with it?
Where was the what?
Do you know approximately what did your equipment weigh with your pack and stuff? 40, 50 pounds, something like that?
I don't remember. We didn't carry much.
40 pounds at the most, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't look like it. I'd say just guessing it looked like about 30 pounds would catch it.
Yeah.
What kind of rifle did you have?
Dad, what is this rifle pictured? Is that an old 30-06 or what? This rifle in the picture. Do you remember what this rifle was?
I don't remember what kind it was.
Was it a 30-06?
I don't remember what size it was.
Okay.
Did you ever fire your rifle?
Did you shoot any at all with this rifle?
Did I do what?
Did you shoot at all with this rifle? Or just use it in
No, I
parade?
didn't. I didn't.
You never went to a firing range with it at all? Well, wait a minute. Here's one interesting thing that just unfolded that you can look at. I didn't know what was there. Here here's the basic layout. Is that okay? This was pinned down. I'm glad I opened it up. Well, it was right on Lake Michigan. Does Fort Sheridan still exist, I wonder?
I think so.
Well, it looked like, here's the one of the towers. It looked like a pretty old place right here, if that's the way. But here's a map of the thing that he had.
There were several hundred over there at Fort Sheridan.
Yes, sir. We heard that, Pa. Here's a. Okay, see here they've got marked ROTC camp headquarters.
Oh, good.
Post Exchange Library. Okay, they did have. Did you ever train at all in this trench system? They've got a trench system marked on here. Did you ever get out in the trenches and train at all?
No.
They didn't use that at all. Well, apparently all they did is march them around in circles. That's
When we were discharged, we had
training to
it
go into the
was
first
a
World
regular
War.
Army general that discharged us.
There was a regular Army man that discharged you at
Yeah.
Columbia.
Yeah,
What was his name?
McGraw, I think, or my
Well, now
something.
the one up there was McCaskey. Was that it? McCaskey? McCaskey?
It might have been Mac something.
Well, he was the one in charge of you up there.
Yeah,
But I mean, he couldn't have been in Columbia too, would he have been? If you were discharged in Columbia, it probably was another man that did it. I'm just guessing that.
it was an Army general.
Well,
We might discover that when we go.
I've got the discharge papers down there in the safe.
You might send me a Xerox of that later.
well, there they show trenches on here, but apparently they didn't train you in that at all, huh?
Not there. It was mainly close order drilling.
Did you have any cases of the flu while you were in Sheridan or Columbia?
No.
Everybody was healthy.
Yep.
They show 50 on this map. They show 20 companies up there, Daddy. That's a heck of a lot of men.
There were several thousand up there at Fort Sheridan.
Well, 20 companies is what they show on this map. How
I
many
think
men in a company?
there were a whole bunch of them,
So there were 2,000 men up there.
over 2,000.
Okay.
About 2,600,
that
I
adds
think.
up, according to this map. If this is valid for the day.
Did they give you any passes when you were in Fort Sheridan? Time off?
Did you have the classes?
Passes, Daddy. Did you get
Huh?
Did they give you any passes during this 3 months in Fort Sheridan? Did
No
you
classes, no.
passes? PASS, a pass to get off the base.
Oh yeah, we go to Chicago.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah,
That's what he wanted to know. You were up there
go
3
to
months,
Chicago to a show.
so you got off base, what, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah. Then there were people up there that take us riding, car ride. People had lived up there.
They just come take so many soldiers off the base or friends, right?
Yeah,
So you were allowed off
Yeah.
the base, so what, just on a weekend?
yeah.
Okay.
Did you have any brothers or other family members in the Army?
Any what?
Brother, Lanier wasn't in the
Oh.
First World War, was he? The only cousin you have is Paul Handy Moore, right? He was the only one.
He was in the French Ambulance Corps.
Yeah, well, he wasn't truly in the American Armed Forces. He's in the French Armed Forces. You say your discharge is down in the basement?
No, down the lumberyard, I
Oh, it's
think.
in the lumberyard. I was going to go get it if it was down there.
You can mail it to me, I'll give you an address or a Xerox
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
Let's see. When did you get to Columbia?
God,
When did you get to Columbia? We went up to Columbia in long the middle of September.
in September, yeah. He's at Jefferson, June, July, and August, and then went to Columbia in September. And it was over in November, and that's when they
Oh, okay.
let him out. But he lived, the funny thing, he lived at the fraternity house up the University of Missouri when he was in the military. So I guess they put him up wherever they could
We'll get him to talk about that. When you were in Columbia, where did you live?
I lived in a fraternity house,
Do you remember which one?
Phi Alpha Theta.
It may still be there.
No, the old fraternity house is gone. They
Oh,
tore
okay.
it down before I went up there in '56. It's gone.
Were there students in the same fraternity with you, or did they vacate for that period?
Yeah, we were students up there.
Oh,
Yeah, but what he wants to know, were there any fraternity brothers living there that weren't connected with the Army at that time?
Yeah, they weren't.
They weren't?
Uh-uh.
So you just got that as a place to stay and they didn't
Yeah.
care? Okay. He went to Columbia. He never graduated from Columbia, but he was a Phi Delta up there. So I guess when the military took him back up there, he just moved back into the fraternity house, even though he hadn't graduated from.
Lanier was a Phi Delta Theta, and he's the one that got me in.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
your brother got you in?
Yeah.
Okay, well we were wondering. That answers that question.
Now, had you gone to school in Columbia before the Army sent you up there?
No, we went straight from Fort Sheridan.
Okay. Now, what kind of classes did they have you take while you were in Columbia?
What kind of classes? Mathematics and of all kinds.
And what else? Primarily math.
Huh?
Primarily math was the main thing you remember.
Yeah.
Well, now, fill me in. After you got discharged in 1918, then's when you turned around and went to the university.
Went to the university.
The next year.
The next year.
Okay, I thought you were there. prior.
And then my father told me if I wanted to study a profession, all right, and if I didn't, come home. So I came home and went to work, started farming.
Okay. So how long were you up there? 2 years? Freshman and sophomore year?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was Columbia like at the time you were there in World War I?
It wasn't near as large as it is now.
Well, how large do you think it was back then? 10,000 people?
Yeah,
10 would catch it?
2,000 or 3,000.
Is that all?
I think so.
It had to be as big as Charleston, Daddy. It had to be at least 5,000 people. Huh?
I don't guess it wasn't very big.
Well, you think it's the size of Sykeston, which is around 15,000?
Oh, it wasn't that many.
Really?
Uh-uh.
Golly, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
You ought to see it now, Daddy.
What did you do for entertainment when you were stuck there in Columbia during the war?
What did they do? What?
What'd you do for entertainment in Columbia? Was there anything to do there during the war?
Oh, some of the sororities had some, yeah.
What? Entertain the troops? Had
Yeah.
dances or what?
No, just individuals.
Just social get-togethers. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember any one particular?
What sorority entertained the most? Do you remember which one?
Pi-Phi.
The Popeyes.
When
They were the war supporters, huh?
he looks at you, it look odd on camera. Because he's looking this way instead of this way.
Dad, try to stay talking. Even though I'm talking to you, try to watch the camera, because he is recording you.
Oops.
What? We gotta start over.
Flip that one over. There we go. The other one will go off next.
Okay, what else can we?
What about when the war ended, when you were in Columbia? Can you remember that day and what went on?
Remember the day it was over? I
Yeah.
think it was November the 11th.
What was going on in Columbia then when you were there?
Huh?
Describe the day. What went on that day? Did everybody go celebrate or what?
No, they were leaving.
What? Leaving what, to go to the
Home.
be shipped out?
No, to go home.
Well, I know that, but I mean, was there a big party that night or what?
I remember.
So nobody celebrated like the end of the Second World War?
Uh-uh.
They just kind of packed up and went home, huh? Well, I mean, were you all discharged there as a group? I mean, they didn't just kind of scatter out and go home, say the war's over, we've had it, we're free. I mean, did you all were called in as a group and the commander discharged you?
No, we had notices.
Oh, you got notices
Yeah.
to everyone. But y'all left and went home before you got a legal notice from the government of a discharge, right?
No, we got a legal discharge before we left.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long after the end of the war was it before you got your legal discharge? A matter of days or months or?
How long was what?
How long was it till you got this official discharge? Look towards him.
Well, it was right after it was over.
Okay, so it happened within days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And tell me about your trip home from Columbia. How did you get back?
Came home on a train.
Train.
Yeah.
And where did the train come to?
What, the train went to St. Louis and then on down home?
Yeah.
Did you come all the way to Charleston on a train?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you all still in uniform at that point, or were you back in civilian clothes then?
Do you remember whether you were in civilian clothes or military clothes? When you came home, did you have
No.
your uniform on or just regular
Oh,
clothes?
we just had regular clothes. We didn't have to wear uniforms in Columbia.
Oh, you didn't at all?
That's interesting.
So the only uniform time you spent were those 3 months at Fort Sheridan, right? Well, I'm glad you told us that. Hello. Okay.
Did you ever go into the military again?
Did I what?
Ever go in the military again? You were too old for the Second World War.
Yeah, I never did.
His timing was perfect in life. He was a little too young for the First World War and too old for the Second World War.
Shoot a few pictures of you here. I shoot several, make sure I get one. What's that?
Nice little squirrel. I fell out of a tree and I saved him. My daddy got so attached to him. We've had him 2 years this past September. We take an interview of you. You know, we take an interview of you.
One of those will work.
Well, I think you captured him.
Hope the lights are enough.
What else can we go over?
Well, do you think there's any particular reason that you've made it to 97?
What's your reason for making it to 97, Daddy?
Reason for doing what?
Making it to 97. Have you got any suggestions what got you this far in life?
No, my dad said if I wanted to study.
No, we're talking about health.
Huh?
He said he was asking you, do you have any words of wisdom on what got you to 97 in your life?
Any reason what?
How you lived this long, Daddy. He wanted to know if you had any words of wisdom on how you lived to be 97 years old.
Well, I didn't. I quit smoking when I was 50, and I never was a drinker.
Did you ever exercise, or was your farming lots of exercise?
I exercise myself.
Yeah, he's been good about that, I will say. Before he goes to bed, he does all stretching exercises and stuff. He's done that for a long, long time as a little routine he goes through.
How old was your father when he died?
He was 70 years old.
Huh.
My mother was 72.
You've done real well, I'd say.
Yeah. He certainly has outlived him, for sure. And he outlived his older brother.
Have you got any advice for young people?
Did I what?
Have any advice for young people?
Yeah, be moderate in everything you do.
Okay.
Don't go to extremes in anything.
Oh, okay. Is there anything you'd like to add before we turn the camera off? Anything you'd like to add to the interview about World War I? Or?
Did I what?
Is there anything, before he turns the camera off, is there anything you'd like to add about World War I? Yeah,
No.
any outstanding memory of anything when Paul Handy came home or anything? Do you have any
I
memories?
didn't volunteer at all.
But I mean, do you have
Paul
any,
Handy volunteered and went over himself.
yes, but I mean, do you have any vivid memories of things he told you when he got back from France?
No.
Did you ever write him letters while he was in France?
Did I what?
Write him any letters in France?
Yeah.
Did you?
He wrote me one.
Oh, what did he say in that letter?
How old is what?
What do you remember what he said in that letter?
Oh, no, it told about that he was with the ambulance corps.
Do you think his son still has that letter?
Huh?
Do you think Charlie still has that letter?
I don't know. I've forgotten whether I sent it to him or not.
You
Well,
might still have it.
his son may have. Dr. Charles Moore in Tallahassee, Florida, is where he lives.
Okay. Do you remember any Liberty Bond drives during the war?
Any what?
Liberty Bond drives? When they were
Bond
selling bonds?
drives.
Yeah, do you
They
remember
had-
any bond drives during the war?
Yeah, they had some here.
Well, how did they conduct them?
Huh?
I mean, who ran them? Do you remember how they were conducted?
No.
Did you ever buy any bonds?
No, I didn't. They,
You had them for the Second World War, but you didn't. You never bought any for the First World War. Okay.
What about scrap metal drives? Can you remember that?
I remember those myself at the Second World War.
Yeah.
I remember that well, going around.
Or during World War I, can you remember how people were treated that had German names?
How
He
what?
wants to know, was there any prejudice against people that had German names during the First World War? I mean, there were Germans living here, farming north of town,
Yeah.
the Catholic families.
North of town.
I know, but was there any prejudice against them for being Germans during the First World War? Nobody ever questioned them or anything. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But all the northern part of this county was farmed by Germans that came down from Cape area. They had the Catholic St. Henry's was above Big Lake up there because they were so hard to get to town. So they were more or less segregated up there during that era.
Did you bring back any souvenirs from your days in Fort Sheridan or Columbia?
Do you have any souvenirs at all from your experience?
No. Mostly society pictures.
Well, we noticed a few girls in here. These were all taken at Columbia, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Virginia Smith's one of them.
She lives out in Virginia.
Is she still alive?
No, she's dead.
Oh, okay.
She visited Nadine.
All right.
What happened to your uniform?
Oh, I don't remember.
If you didn't have it at Columbia, did you turn them back in when you left Fort Sheridan?
It didn't work.
I know, but did you turn your uniform back in at Fort Sheridan?
I guess so.
Okay.
It's possible. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. We'll run through that album and leave the recorders going. I'll get these lights here. I'll go out to the car and get my copy stand so I can copy some of the pictures. Do that back. And it's still going. If he says anything, it'll be on the tape. And the camera's still going too, so it'll still pick up sound.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Now, here's a picture of a guy, R.A. York, Daddy.
Who?
Now, wait a minute, Daddy. You said you didn't have any more shots. Now, these have got to be up at Fort Sheridan because here are the barracks inside the
Hey.
picture.
Fella named
Here.
York.
Here we
I
go.
roomed with a while.
All right. Well, we've got. What are these pictures over here with these buildings commencement? Oh, that's up at Western Military Academy. But he's got another picture of the military. These were barracks here. We'll slowly piece this together. Here's the inside shot of the barracks. Look.
Yeah.
See how the barracks were all rowed up
Mm-hmm.
down in the tents here, and here's the inside of one of them. See the guys on the cots and stuff there?
Yeah.
And these are all outside the barracks here, and this has got to be in Lake Michigan because the fort was right on Lake Michigan. And here are all the guys sitting out in front of it. Daddy, you got more pictures than you thought you did of it. You got 2 pages here of stuff. Because see here, the back of the barracks where he was photographed.
Is this the fraternity house?
I think that is the old Fight-Out house up there at the Columbia. Are these pictures taken at the firehouse, Daddy, the old one in Columbia? Wasn't this the Fight-Out house?
Fight-Out house, yeah.
But I mean, that's where these 3 pictures were taken, right? Okay. Well, you've got a bunch. There's the interior of your barracks up there at Fort Sheridan right here. Shows the inside of your barracks. And all the row of them down there in Lake Michigan here off the bluff. This R.A. York, was he in charge of you?
Who?
Was this York?
York, no, he was a roommate.
Oh, he was a roommate down there.
Where was he from?
Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Well, we discovered more than I thought you had, Papa. I'm glad you came for an interview. I've learned a lot myself today.
I find that's a pretty common experience. They just don't mention things if you don't ask a question.
Well, I guess right here is a list. No, these are a list of men that were up there, I guess. Daddy, is this a list of men that were with you up at Fort Sheridan? It's laying in here. Are those people you knew up at Fort Sheridan?
Yeah.
They were? Okay. They were from all over.
Yeah.
Sterling, Illinois, Kansas City, Fort Madison, Lebanon, Indiana, Chicago, Evansville, Paw Paw, Michigan. I bet 90% of these men are gone.
Yeah. There's 8,000 left in the United States.
Is all they estimate?
Have about 5 million.
8,000. Good God, Dad, you're among the chosen few.
2 years ago, there were 300 in Missouri. So it's considerably less than 300 now, I think. There's a guy named Strawbridge. Do you remember him? With that unusual name, Strawbridge?
I don't
I've
remember.
heard of Strawberry, but Strawbridge is a new one. He was from Chicago. But there were not many Strawbridges in Chicago. If there are, they're probably all relatives of his.
In the front of the book are names of people at Edward University.
Yeah, but he's not interested in that, Dad.
Well, we probably run through. I'm interested in so many different things that you never know what you're going to run across. Did you ever hear the governor speak during World War I?
Did I what?
Did you ever hear the governor speak during World War I? Or the president, anybody that gave a speech that stuck out in your mind in particular?
There were some army officers came in there.
And gave speeches?
One of them did.
All righty.
Do you remember the day that America declared war in 1917? You would have been in the academy at that time.
Do you remember when America declared war in 1917? Here's a full picture of the old firehouse at Columbia.
Okay, good, we'll see
That,
that.
that one right there, that brick home was it.
Were there other soldiers quartered in Columbia besides?
No. Just the ROTC.
Were there any Army camps outside of town of soldiers?
No.
Okay. Were there other ROTC candidates from the university with you?
Did you what, Hugh Hunter?
Were they? Oh, come back on that question.
Were there ROTC candidates with him that were also attending the university at the same time?
Were there ROTC candidates with you that were also attending the university at that time?
No, they weren't. They weren't all there. They went there after a certain number of us went.
But they were all a group from up there. They
Yeah.
went as a group to the university. Who are all these names here?
Oh, those are different people I met.
Oh, so it doesn't have anything to do with the military.
No.
Calling cards used to be real common.
Here's what a Western looked like. Back then, it didn't close up to just a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
It was an old school, respected institution.
I see.
Here's the fold out
Lots of pictures in here.
cards of what it looked like. The buildings.
Okay.
Have they torn down Western, or are the buildings still there?
I don't know. I've been thinking I'd write to the mayor of Alton sometime and find out what happened to it. It closed up several years ago, I know.
Dad, we were telling him that. I never knew you had such a good collection of pictures of the institution. You've got a whole fold-out card of it.
Give me again.
I can get it. No, but don't worry about it. I'll grab it right here.
Did anything funny happen to you while you were at Great Western, the academy?
Was I ever what?
Anything humorous happen while you were in school there at the academy?
Hugh Hunter? Hugh Hunter?
No, anything funny?
I can't understand you.
What's this about?
Did anything funny happen or humorous while you were at this academy?
When I was Western,
Mm-hmm.
we'd go on boat excursions.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I've already done that.
What happened to your uniform from Great Western?
I don't know. I've kept some of it for a long time. I don't know what happened to it.
You said he kept his Great Western uniform for a long time.
I think that's still upstairs in the attic, Daddy.
It is.
I think so.
Might
I've
be.
got to run down and check on an irrigation rig running down
Okay.
here on my farm. I will be back.
Well, I'll probably be here taking pictures.
Okay.
Copy stand.
All right. And then I'll take him to lunch.
Okay.
All right. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
If you need to get through to him, just yell at him because he's hard of hearing now.